Hi, this is Attorney Mike. I'm coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today I've got a fun one. It is an old clip. It's from 1996. It looks like vintage Steve Jobs as the defendant. It's a little something we're going to call Pro Se Court Fail number 5. Let's do it.
Mr. Falkowski, did you want to take up Mr. Alexander's matter? Certainly. Mr. Alexander, case number 375134.
For starters, look at this vintage setup. Starting with the numbers at the top of that font and then the monitors. It's fantastic. I'm ashamed to say I'm old enough to remember all this real well.
Oh, hang on just a second, Mr. Falkowski. Mr. Alexander has asked for a video of the proceedings.
Excuse me, are you attempting to serve me something, sir?
Your Honor, for the record, I gave Mr. Alexander some of the advance sheets.
Your Honor, I would object at this time.
Well, with just additional authority that came to my attention after I filed my response. I basically am in court.
Objection, Your Honor. I'm the moving party, and I'd like to address the court before Mr. Falkowski says another word. And based on situations and circumstances...
Let's sign this first.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that.
Well, can't use the case, sir.
Although procedural, I may be somewhat out of order, I would ask it be set over until Friday, since one of the rights that Mr. Alexander is stating that I'm violating is his right to counsel on the underlying contempt action, and if it was continued until Friday, a public defender would be present and could advise him on that issue. I think that's the first issue we should take up, is whether or not he's representing himself.
Well, he's representing himself right now, and that's why I call this a pro se video. It is fantastic. He doesn't do this offset thing, but this guy is just so over the top. I just love it.
Or whether or not he wants a public defender appointed.
Mr. Alexander, you know I can't proceed without a stipulation. Do you wish me to send this over to the presiding judge?
Your Honor, if I may briefly address the court.
Okay, it will have to be brief, Mr. Alexander.
Briefly, Your Honor.
Because I do have 4 trials.
Pursuant to documents filed in the United States District Court this day, Fresno County Superior Court judges en banc, including all, the full court, are named expect adverse parties in a federal class action lawsuit. Thus, it would be inappropriate for any Fresno County Superior Court judge to hear this case.
Okay, so I think this guy's theory is what I don't know what the underlying case is. I still don't, but I think this guy's theory is I'm going to file a class action suit, name every judge in the jurisdiction, and thereby creating a conflict so no one can preside over my matter, presumably because he's guilty or doesn't have the merits on this charge. I don't even know if it's a criminal case. I think it is.
Equally, it is my intent, pursuant to my authority under California Penal Code, Section 837, place Mr. Falkowski under citizen's arrest.
All right. Now I've sued every judge in the county, and I'd like to place the prosecutor under citizen's arrest.
On what basis, sir?
Violation of Penal Code Section 166, as well as 422.6, 422.7. At this point in time, I am additionally requesting that a peace officer of the state of California takes that individual who I now deliver into custody. You may cite him out pursuant to Penal Code Section 849, sub B1. That's your discretion. Additionally, Your Honor, I would leave the court a copy.
That's the prosecutor there, the bald guy. You see that? He doesn't do it to his face, but he turns around and smiles. I think he's pretty confident he's not going to be taken into custody on this request.
Momentarily my personal file copy of said petition under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 27 filed this day with the federal court. I will be additionally going over and serving the presiding judge en banc.
Tom, if you could hand me a copy of that Mr. Alexander has.
Now, we'd like to have this back, Your Honor, and while the matter is under consideration, I would like to depart from the courtroom, proceed with my associates across the street to serve the presiding judge. Also, my associate here today has a duplicate copy for which we would like to serve on Mr. Falkowski.
Wait, he just asked. First, he horned in on it and asked the judge to listen to him about this, and now he's asking for time to go serve his nonsense complaint on the presiding judge. Oh,
Therefore, I would request that these documents, whatever they are, be returned to Mr. Falkowski, and when it's determined how we proceed, such appropriate service would then take place. I believe, Your Honor, that Mr. Falkowski, everyone in the district attorney's office, pursuant to this federal rules of civil procedure rule 27 petition, as well as every judge in the Fresno County court system appearing in bank, has a personal interest in the outcome of this matter, and therefore be inappropriate and create a conflict of interest. In the event I'm wrong, I would like a minimum of 2 days.
if I'm wrong. In the unlikely event that I'm wrong. Oh, you're wrong, buddy. You are wrong.
Prepare a 170.1A6C challenge for cause against each and every judge in the Fresno County Superior Court system.
I'd go along with his request to continue the case for a couple of days until Friday.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, that's just the craziest thing ever. And the prosecutor's like, yeah, I'll go along with this to the extent that he's asking to continue it till Friday. He just wants to be done with the call and move on to the next day. He knows none of this is going anywhere. It's all crazy, but it does make sense to set it over till Friday.
I think that's what should be done. I haven't had has this actually been filed? It was.
My copy indicates that it has been lodged with the clerk of the U.S. District Court.
Miscellaneous cases as such are initially set before a magistrate, which has been explained to the federal court clerk to be inappropriate. The case has been titled for courtroom 1 for the Honorable United States District Court Judge Robert.
I'm confused here. If he sued every judge in Fresno County and, presumably maybe accept this federal court judge, so you'd have to leave one to decide that everybody else is horrible.
Toil. When cases as such and a petition as such are filed, they are assigned at the interim a miscellaneous case number, and therefore they are only logged and not officially filed until it actually goes to the magistrate and then proceeds to the federal court judge for review. At that point in time, it will be assigned a permanent case number for which the following class action lawsuit will additionally be titled under the same case number.
Again, I was just given a copy of it a minute ago, and there's no named defendants.
Expected adverse parties, I believe, are listed on page 6.
The prosecutor says, okay, there's no named defendants. This guy comes back with their list on page 6. Well, that's not how it works. You got to have a caption. It's got to be right on the caption. You got to name your defendants. I assure you, or you'll get dismissed. I mean, there's no merit. All this is crazy. He's trying to file a class action. In order to file a class action, you have to certify a class. I don't know what the class would be. The class would be the people bringing the action, not who you're against. Those are individual defendants. So, I mean, I don't know why I'm getting this into. It's wrong on every level. It's just trust me. Trust Law Talk with Mike on this one.
Defendants are not, Your Honor, in such a petition to be identified as actual defendants, rather are to be listed as expected adverse parties. And that is in compliance with Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 27.
I'm sorry, on page 6?
Excuse me, page 8, number 4, James Falkowski, Deputy District Attorney, County of Fresno, ETAL, Family Support Division, number 77777, P.O. Box.
Thank you, I found it.
I got it.
Now, Mr. Alexander, you said these were your copies that you wanted
That is
to
my
return?
personal copy, Your Honor, that is correct. Serving the presiding judge and bank would then be his obligation to make the duplicate copies and forward them to every single judge associated.
Tom, if you could return this to, okay. This matter is continued without prejudice to any pending interest before the court to Friday, October the 25th at 1:30. And I guess the first issue that we'll take up is the pendency of an action that might require proceedings in this court being stayed while the federal court addresses Mr. Alexander's questions. So, Mr. Alexander, we'll see you back here on Friday at 1:30.
Your Honor, I got the name of the gentleman, Dennis, who served me with the papers. I'd like, you said he was your associate?
He is at this time now to be considered as a prospective co-plaintiff in the class action for which I have been asked to represent such federal interests and rights at stake in the matter.
Okay, as a prospective co-plaintiff, I'd ask that he give me his address so that I would know how to contact him.
Sure, my address is California.
I mean, this is just wackadoodle. It's interesting that all the way back then, because a lot of this doxing stuff is like new, and that's what this is not putting the address. I'm glad they're not putting the address on there. Of course, it doesn't really matter. This thing is from October of 1996. I'm sure the guy's moved. No, this is just crazy. He's saying that this guy's a co-plaintiff, so I guess he's part of the people suing everybody. Well, you can't have a party to the suit serving other parties to the suit with the complaint. It just doesn't work. Okay.
Phone number? 6.
Okay, and are you participating in the citizen's arrest?
No, sir, he is not.
You're not participating?
No, sir, he is not.
He can answer for himself.
No.
You're not participating? No. Okay.
Mr. Falkowski, I would reserve to you, having had Mr. identified today as a prospective co-plaintiff, I'm not certain what, if any, effect that would have upon the validity of service by a party. You would, of course, be, I would reserve, simply as a procedural matter, your right to object to that service if he is in fact deemed to be a party to the action.
Your Honor, having not directly considered that at the moment, we could return that document and Mr.
Having not considered that, can we return that document? He just asked for a do-over in front of the judge after a royal screw-up. I mean, it's all a screw-up, but he's worried about this one procedural point. No, your service is not effective. Okay, so that's not going to fly.
Mr. You'd like to serve him?
I've already been served.
He's not
Well, let's
complaining at this
avoid-
point.
let's
I
avoid
am
any-
simply, just a second.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Alexander, just a second. Mr. Falkowski, you're excused. Mr. Alexander, this matter is continued to Friday at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is Mr. Falkowski being taken into custody pursuant to my deliverance to this California peace officer?
Mr. Falkowski is subject to the jurisdiction of this court, and he will respond when the court orders him to do so.
Let the record reflect as such, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Well,
When may I obtain my video copy of today's proceedings, Your Honor?
as soon as the proceedings are concluded, we'll pull the tape out and give it to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll return at the end of the court's business this day. Thank you.
Actually,
It wasn't on record because you guys proceeded before I put the tape in the machine.
Isn't that amazing?
It wasn't on record. Oh, it's too good.
I can make that copy off that tape at the end of the day, and I will give you a call and you can have your video.
Thank you kindly, ma'am.
Oh, well, there you have it. A pro se just doing wild stuff. Apparently, he was charged with something, and his response to that is, "I'm going to sue everybody in Fresno County, and therefore no one can rule on me." I have no idea who this guy is. I really don't have any way of following up on it, but I'm sure he filed a complaint in federal court. He doesn't even have a caption. He got dismissed, and then he got prosecuted. I mean, that's my guess as to what occurred here. He might have tacked on some additional fees or charges for frivolous filing, or maybe not because it's so pathetic. But he might have been able to delay things slightly, but this is not going to get him out of whatever trouble he's in. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly stuff that happens in court, and every once in a while, and completely by accident, I assure you, you might learn something. Thanks for watching.